What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you yet another Betafield 4 video. This time gonna have some Battlefield 4 beta footage going on there in the background, but the purpose of this video is to talk about the article that came out on the Battlefield blog, and that was where DICE discussed how they've taken a lot of the complaints, suggestions, things like that, feedback, the general feedback from the Battlefield 4 beta, and how they are applying a lot of those aspects into the Battlefield 4 full release. So let's get straight into it. They list some random things here and there, talking about some of the performance, some of the bugs, things like that. But let's get into some of the things that I think are more important. I will have a link to the article in the video description below if you want to look at every single thing that they did, but there's quite a bit. But let's get straight into the things that I feel are the most important. One of the big problems with the beta, for me personally, and I know a lot of people had a problem as well, was the rate at which it felt like you died. They are going to be fixing that. They fixed how the player only receives a single local damage sound effect if he or she was the victim of a quick, clean kill. So basically, they're going to be adding in some responsiveness to the aspect of you being shot yourself. It's not going to seem like an insta-kill every single time. It's interesting. I didn't know it was a problem. I actually thought that it was a feature somewhat. They've reduced the fire rate of the AK-12 when in burst mode. The gun normally has a 750 round per minute fire rate, but when you put it in burst mode, if you were good enough and had enough trigger discipline or mouse click discipline or whatever it is, you could get it up to 1,000 rounds per minute. So they've changed that, and it's now going to be 750 all around, whether you are in full auto or burst. Kind of a bummer, but whatever. Not too much importance there. They did some tweaking to the compensator and the muzzle brake so that they they're properly less accurate in sustained automatic fire. Basically, they're not going to be as good as they were in the beta. And they've also, this was kind of a bummer, reduced and rebalanced full auto accuracy based on rate of fire for all automatic weapons to balance low rate of fire weapons. Low rate of fire weapons were remaining accurate long enough to get easy kills outside their intended optimal range. So this is seems like it's a direct reference to the the carbines. They've got low recoil, specifically the AK. Whatever it is, the 5C, I believe is what it is. The first carbine that you would unlock, and then possibly the Scar H. Not really sure about that, but they were very easy to use at long range, so they don't give any specifics to that, so can't really talk too much about that. But it is kind of a bummer to hear, because I was thoroughly impressed with the recoil in the beta, but maybe this is why, because it was a little too easy. That's possibly why. They did increase the default throw distance of the portable ammo and med packs, making it easier to throw it to teammates. That's very handy dandy. This next one, hugely important for me. This is one of my big problems with some of the balance between the teamworkedness of the support class. The portable ammo packs now reload 2 magazines of bullets instantly and up to a total of 4 magazines per pack over time. The player must stay on the ammo pack in order to receive the benefit from all ammo reloading, and then all explosives still do not benefit from the ammo pack. This is awesome, because the health bags would heal all your health once you got tossed it to a person. And the ammo ones would only give 1, and you already regenerate your health over time anyways, but ammo you don't. So that always bothered me. So this is nice to see that they're upping it to 2-4 and adding a sense of still having to stay on the pack. Let's see, that one's not really all that important. Revive time has been increased from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. That is a huge thing. This was one of easily the top 3 most complained about things for the beta, specifically in the domination mode. But overall, the revive time was just way too slim, and because of the new charge mechanic to actually get someone up to full, you never had enough time to, make sure that whoever killed them was no longer around or, was definitely dead, and then start to charge it and then get them. It was just a hassle, and I missed, personally, 90% of the revives that I tried to get. So that was kind of a bummer. Or that's a great thing that has been fixed, that bummer has been fixed. Let's see. They fixed some weapon descriptions. Who cares about that? Now, they let's kind of let me skip ahead. The RPG-7 and small no longer lock on to laser designated targets. It was inauthentic and not balanced. I'm crushed about this only because I'm sure you guys, after watching my channel, you've learned that I'm not a big fan of air. I'm not a big fan of getting killed by air. It's kind of a bummer. So this was kind of just I'm glad that they're balancing it because it was slightly, pretty much, borderline OP. But I'm bummed because I won't be able to use it to take out annoying jets. Helicopters I don't really care about. They weren't too big a hassle. Jets. Oh, God, jets are just so painful when you get a good jet pilot in them. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But to counter this, they did increase the damage of the Stingers and Iglas to a 3-hit kill on attack choppers. They used to be 25% damage on the choppers. They've bumped it now up to 35%. So that's cool. They increased the speed of tow missiles, not just the ones mounted on the grounds, but this will include all the tow missiles for things like the vehicles. So that's great. They bumped it from 50 meters per second to 75 meters per second. That's very handy and might be able to use it against some helicopters now. They specifically mentioned quad bikes, which I guess is legit. Yeah. Let's see. They increased the sustained fire accuracy of the coaxial LMG on the armored vehicles because it was underpowered. Thank goodness. This thing was incredibly inaccurate, and the damage output just wasn't enough. So hopefully now with the better accuracy, the damage output will seem to be quite a bit more. They reduced the damage of the main gun of the IFVs, these are the APCs, against other armor to highlight their primary anti-infantry role. That's kind of sucks. I liked them being able to take on a tank. You can still switch to the tow missile on it and whatnot like that. And if you catch a tank off guard, you're shooting them in the rear, and you have your side or your front facing the tank, you can still take them out. Seems like, but it is kind of a bummer that they've dropped that a little bit. They did reduce the damage of the 40 mil and 25 millimeter infantry weapons to armored vehicles to highlight their role as anti-infantry. This is kind of a bummer because the assault class, their biggest negative is always when a vehicle shows up, they are worthless. All three of the other classes have fairly effective ways of dealing with vehicles, but the assault did not, and now they have even less because it would deal, in some cases, up to like 20% damage, which was quite effective for for that underbarrel grenade launcher. But no longer will they be doing as much or be as effective. So, kind of a bummer. They did fix the projectile warning tone for the laser designation. You will actually hear when laser designated a tone, and then when fired upon, they have added in the additional tone that will play for that. That kind of, made the RPG small lock-on thing a little more effective, but they've gotten that and taken it down. Laser-designated missiles now do a maximum of 90% damage to attack and scout choppers versus the 100 that they did. So they're no longer insta-kills. Again, me personally, it's kind of a bummer, but I realize dealing 100% from a lock-on was pretty ridiculous when Stingers and Iglas are not even dealing nearly as that much, and that's their sole purpose, is to take out air. Let's see. They reduced the lock-on distance of the main tank's law missiles from they were at 500 meters. Now they are down to 350. So this kind of is to just make the Igla and things like that a little more focused on being the anti-air role and keeping the tanks as a more anti-ground versus ground vehicles, not necessarily versus helicopters and jets. So kind of a bummer there. They did fix the kill string in the score log. You know, as you're shooting people, things are going to appear sooner now, just making the UI overall more responsive to you killing people. That was very handy. Because there were some times when I was just going through and killing lots of guys in a chain, and it got chaotic, and I lost track of who I was killing. Had I actually killed someone, I would end up shooting a corpse for a little bit because I just wasn't quite sure. You know, you get spoiled by these little score logs things, and now these days. So that's nice. That's pretty much all the things that I find the most important. I mean, that's probably about 75% of the things on there. There's still quite a lot on there. So definitely check the link out and get to read that whole article if you get a chance, if you have the time. Hope you've enjoyed the gameplay going on there in the background, and I hope you have learned a bit and appreciate a lot of the patches that they're going to be making to the full release. Have a good one, guys. Ta-ta.